Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. In this video, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin and Cardano chart. We can see that Bitcoin is still around 42.7k, not far away from where it was earlier today. And Cardano is moving up quite a bit more. You know, it's at 118 now. It seems to be a late starter here. 5% up in the last 24 hours. So in the last few hours, it has now moved up quite a bit. What really impresses me is XRP, to be fair. That's a very strong reaction and it's fantastic. And yeah, let's start with Bitcoin Cardano. Throughout the day, I'll do some more updates about other cryptos. And yeah, so far looking very interesting. A few moves in the market, very interesting. But what interests us here in this video is Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, after it broke out of this bull flag here, as indicated before, you know, we talked about that, broke out of the bull flag. And it is moving towards the target area of 43.3k. To be fair, it's already come all the way up to 43.1. Does it really need to get to 43.3? I'm not sure. You know, we are quite close, to be fair, and given the volatility in the market, and also what we need to understand, it's different to, for example, where you've got the stock market where everything's fairly centralized. Here in the crypto market, you've got various marketplaces with sometimes very small adjustments and differences between prices. So where you can buy a Bitcoin for a certain price on Binance, it might be slightly different on Bitstamp. Therefore, I would consider that this could have already been the top here of that wave 4, and that we could now already see our way down. And this doesn't need to happen. Yeah, I mean, it's too early to say that really, but the thing is, we've seen a first reaction to here, this level, which at the moment is the 50-day moving average here at 42.9. We did get all the way up to 43.1 pretty much. Couldn't really get any higher, you know, and that is where I think, right, we've seen quite a strong reaction. I mean, we did get all the way up there to 43.1k roughly, and then broke down this 1.8% within a short period, all the way down to 42.2. It's a fairly strong reaction, nothing massive, but the thing is, what does it do now? Now I'm on the 1 hour chart. We can see that it then started to move up again, but here a huge red candle, huge, you know, but a comparatively large red candle again. So that tells me, you know, what we could be seeing here is potentially just a lower high, and then it could start to roll over. So that would be perfect. That would be all very well in line with my expectations. So what we said, obviously, here in this yellow target area, that Bitcoin is going to move into the target area. We tried to break here into the yellow target area various times. Let me take that line out. I think it just confuses. That was the minimum that the wave 4 needed to do, and it did obviously break through. My primary expectation was throughout this whole move of Bitcoin that we were getting to the 43.3k, and yeah, yesterday or today we did get all the way up to 43.1. To be honest, I would consider that close enough given the volatility in the market. And to be fair, if I would measure that in percent, how much is really missing to the 43.3, I mean, a 0.5%, you know, basically forecasting a price level with a 0.5% accuracy is, in my view, not bad. So I would consider that close enough, given, as I said, the volatility and the price differences between different exchanges. I think that's absolutely okay. That's absolutely okay. And you know, if this sort of beginning of a downtrend, and it's too early to say that really, but if that beginning here, and we might see here a lower high, if that carries on throughout the day, we might here be able to already be able to highlight the top of the wave 4 and see a beginning of that wave 5 to the downside. I'd be very much in favor for that. I'd love that, because it would just be in line with what I expected, a lot what my viewers expected as well, because of this forecast here. And then people would have a chance, everybody who held back some dry powder for lower prices would then be able to buy back at lower prices. But it's far too early to say that. I think when we can get more confident that this is really starting to roll over is, first of all, if we see here a lower high, yeah, so we cannot break through the 50-day moving average at 42.9k, and if we get back into this channel here, or even break below the channel. So with this channel of that bull flag, we had the resistance, which will now be support at 41.8k, and the lower support is 41.5. So let's say if we break below 41.5, then I'd get more confident that this uptrend is now over of the wave 4 and we're heading down. After that you have the 40.5k level, and then we could really move lower here and begin our wave 5. And that's pretty much as I can say really about Bitcoin at the moment. If we zoom out, for everybody who's new on the channel, who's wondering what is he talking about, we're talking about the Elliott Waves here that have pretty much very accurately helped us to forecast the price move of Bitcoin here throughout this whole downtrend. If you remember, if you've been with me here, when it was, I did tell you all the way up here, when it is crossing below 53k, then I will go all the way with my bearish view here, that we're coming down into this area between 20 and 28.7k. And yeah, it did that. And so throughout this whole period, we remained bearish. The different waves, I think, very accurately told us where the price would be heading. I think it was oftentimes very accurately. Also here, the wave 4 is doing what it's supposed to be doing. After the wave 4, we do expect here a wave 5 to the downside. And that wave 5 would then move, I'll delete the fibs here. That wave 5 would then go down into that yellow target area between 20 and 28.7k. And just to re-emphasize, so here, just to re-emphasize, the price could, even in this wave 4 scenario, it could go all the way up to 46.3, 46.5k. That would all be within the possibility of a wave 4. So even if we break now the 50-day moving average and move higher, I stick with this scenario until we break above 46.5k. If we break above it, all of what I would see then here in this, and I talked about that before, it could then be that we are talking here about a triangle. So there are a few possibilities here. And I know I always need to be careful that we're not confusing this, but I want to spend some time just briefly on this, because this is all very important. People ask me about, what are the alternatives? An alternative would be, first way, primary view here, A, B, C, where the wave C would come into the target area between below 28.7k, where the 28.7k would be the minimum. Yeah, that is the price that at least needs to be achieved in the downturn. Okay, so it can go lower. Next alternative would be this one here, where you have an A, B, and these are all Elliott Waves patterns. So if you have no clue what I'm talking about here, that's all Elliott Wave method. An A, B, C, D, E. Yeah. So in this scenario, what we would need to see is the wave, what we're doing here, the wave C, is basically not allowed to come back lower than the 28.7k. It needs to be a bit higher. And this could indicate, maybe that low was already in. At where we came down to 33k, we could say, all right, maybe the low was already in. We're moving up here. Yeah, could go all the way up to the previous all-time high, very close at least. Yeah, and then we have another leg down. That's an absolute possible, possibility, where you basically here have a 3-3-3-3-3 pattern, small ABC waves throughout, and that's certainly a possibility. But I wouldn't really want to focus on that until we are above 46.5k. Okay, because if you're above 46.5k, then this here could play out that you get your wave up here and then your wave down in a final wave E. Yeah, so something like a triangle pattern here. That is certainly a possibility here. Yeah, but even that, as you can see here, that scenario as well would not take us all the way to new all-time highs. Yeah, it would not take us to new all-time highs. It would still be a corrective structure. So that is that's a possibility, or an alternative here, another one which is fairly similar, that within this larger wave C, and people who've been with me on this channel for a while will remember that within this wave C that we're doing here, this whole leg down, that we're actually having something like A, B, C. Yeah, so that is actually what I originally expected when we were up here, where I have, you can see the green wave 3. I originally told you that this here could have been a wave A. The expectation was to come a bit higher in a wave B, and that the wave C would then have also taken us down into that area here, the yellow target area. So the yellow target area didn't change, but the way how we got there at the moment has changed a bit, because that wave B never happened. It was basically it was basically the alternative that I also showed you throughout. So with not a wave B, which means if you have this wave B, you get a more stronger move up. You get a stronger move up before you get your final wave C down. And we haven't seen this wave B on the Bitcoin chart yet, but it is of course a possibility that all of this here could have been a wave A. We are still going to see the wave B here, which will extend the whole correction, and then you get your wave C to the downside. But again, not a scenario I would want to talk about until we cross above 46.5K. And everybody who's saying that, because you will remember what this scenario would assume, that we are actually in a larger wave C. Where is it? Here. Everybody who's saying that, right, you cannot have 3 waves in a wave 3. Yeah, you can. This is actually it has become quite a common pattern also in the crypto market. It is not what you will find on the internet, but you can see it. And everybody who's using Elliott Waves a lot, there are always different interpretations, but there are Elliott Wave analysts, including myself, who believe that in a wave C you can also have 3 waves. So that is what I would consider here a possible alternative as well, but again only if we break above 46.5K. So as every method, like the Elliott Wave method, which was originally developed in the I think in the 1920s, everything is moving on and developing. So just because something is written somewhere in a book doesn't always mean this is what you can really see here. And concepts move on. That would be a possibility as well. The so-called 3-3-3 pattern, so where you find 3 waves in a wave A, 3 waves in a wave B, 3 waves in a wave C, is actually fairly common. Okay, so yeah, I'd be looking at that scenario if we move above 46.5K. So that would also be a corrective scenario. Yeah, just to emphasize that. So all 3 scenarios that I've just shown you, they are all corrective. None of them would take us from here to new all-time highs. And the reason for that is, if I look at especially at the monthly MACD, it would, in my view, not support new all-time highs from here. The monthly MACD has made a bearish crossover here, and there is no sign of any turnaround. So the higher time frame indicators do not support new all-time highs. That's my view here on Bitcoin. Cardano, also, while Bitcoin is now struggling a bit, actually Cardano is moving up quite a bit. We talked about it. The breakout target here for the breakout of that triangle that we had is around 130. So we're climbing up towards that target. But I could imagine that Cardano will struggle here with a 50-day moving average, similar to Bitcoin. Bitcoin struggled with a 50-day moving average as well. Cardano at least moved above the 20-day moving average here in the last few hours, really, moving higher here towards the 50-day moving average, which is currently sitting at 124. So if Cardano, if the bulls can drive the price higher here on this ascending trend line, and you remember we talked about a potential tipping point here, that was or a decision point, which was at 112 when we moved into the apex here. So there was a strong reaction to it. There was basically first a breakdown, and then the bulls could support it, and we've reclaimed here the ascending trend line, continuing to move higher. And I think the next level to address is 124. Can it get can it get up there? It certainly has some momentum now, back at 118 at the moment. If we take a look on the indicators though, on the 4-hour chart, Cardano is now overbought again, because it has moved up quite a bit from the previous swing low. And overall I'm not too confident that we go much higher here, maybe all the way up to that 125 level, the 50-day moving average. And I think then it will only be able to move even higher if Bitcoin does a strong move up and will push to that next possible level that we talked about, the 46.5K level. Overall, I still think that Cardano is in a correction. It's still, if I zoom out here a little bit, it still is here in this descending channel. You can see the channel here, and still officially in a downtrend. It's not even above the 50-day moving average, not above the 200-day moving average. And I would give it an opportunity, or a percentage probability to move up straight away from here, and that it has finished the correction maybe only at 20%. I think we are going to see lower prices How low are they going to be? I don't know, but the most likely here would be between 30 and 55 cents. And that counts or starts to count if we drop below 92.5 cents. So overall, in my view, nothing surprising in the markets at the moment. Bitcoin, of course, driving the market, pushing the market. What I said in the previous videos is that when Bitcoin is pushing higher and then moving sideways a bit, you always see a lot of altcoins doing the rally. We're seeing that. XRP surprises me, but again, even with XRP, it had hit my target area, the low, and it's now starting to move up. So, even all of these things are coming into fruition now. So it's fantastic. Good to see. There'll be another update later, of course. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And as always, if you really like the content, maybe you want to consider to join as a channel member. You can do that here on on YouTube or on my website. And for both, you can find a link in the video description. Then you can see my own buy and sell orders, join the Discord, join Telegram, and the weekly live stream. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.